Hi, we're back. We're going to try to finish these moccasins. First, cut some lace. In other videos, I've showed you how to make lace. You use a scrap piece. You cut around and around and around. Try not to nick it. Try to keep it as smooth as possible. That way it doesn't break. Try to keep it as uniform as possible too. This lace will become your shoelace, essentially. So if you just keep on doing that with a scrap piece, maybe straighten it out after, just take a look at it, cut off some of these things, make it more straight. I went ahead and pre-did a whole bunch, so I'm good. So we'll start with the tail end here. Now all these holes, you won't be using every one of these holes. These are sizing holes. This covers whatever. So if it's a little bit larger, you would go out a bit. A little bit smaller, you'd go in a bit. So you got the 4 holes on the top, 4 holes on top, and this particular one, oh, the size, I better go over that really quick. To size, that's what this line is here for. And that's where I've cut to and finished doing the holes. So when you put your foot in, your heel goes there. And that's what you want. You don't want it tight, leave a little bit of room. But if you want to make sure you have somebody either take the liner out of their shoe and put in and mark, or you have them put their foot in here and you mark at the base of their heel. And that's what that line's all about. That way you can finish this part off properly. So we're going to just, there's other methods to do this too I should go over, like this one on the back I've done lace. In this particular one I'm going to be doing sinew. So you start on the inside. So you'll start on the inside here. Go through this hole. Leave enough to tie and melt. Then you'll take hold all the way through. Both of these have to go together here. So now you take your needle and go through. You take that hole, this hole, to this hole, and through this hole. Then you leave your tie and tail, and you want to go in this hole, the very end hole, and again the very end hole. As you see with this one, looks like I'm kind of a mess on the inside. That's alright. Then you go through the same hole because you want to make an X pattern on the back. Try not to pull it tight yet, you can pull it later. Then you go in this one, this one, and this one. Pull through. That's starting to make your X. And you go in this one, this one, this one. And you'll be going back down to this one. Bottom one. It's going to let you. In. Yeah, it likes to be difficult sometimes, but if this was easy, everybody would be doing it. And you go back up the top. And across to that one. There. From this point, you can flip this out like this. That way you can tighten it. You're going to pull it snug, but not too snug. Again, you're going to melt this in a bit. So if the younger ones are here, have your parents do this. You just cut and melt this. It's artificial sinew. Or again, you can use lace. Snip it off. That way you can melt it. I won't show you how to do that. I'm pretty sure people can figure that out by themselves. Now we come to the lace. Now I'll show you one side because I got the other moccasin ready already. You want to make a point on this. Then on this one, you're going to go in. You can use your needle to push in this hole. This hole, then out this one. Trying to be as clear as I can, but also trying to keep this to a relatively reasonable length video. Then you take this and you loosely go around, and you do the other end. So you'd measure it up. You got to about there. So you cut the lace there. You no longer need the lace. You set the lace off. You once again make a point. This just helps you do what you need to do. Then you can push it in. It'll be tight, of course. Now this lace gets covered with your outside cuff. This is if you're doing a cuff. You don't necessarily need the cuff. A lot of people would stop at the moccasin that they got. Then there's your tie. Now we go to this one, which I've already done. Actually, why not just stick with the one that we have here? So now we have to, this sinew's not waist, but it's not quite long enough for what we want. So we're going to have to switch this out. You can save this for a medicine bag, this one. Roll that, make it easier to get in your needle. And from here this wraps around, so you have to go into this bottom one first. And here, and around to your top one. Leave a little tie tail. And what I do is I sometimes do this one twice. Oops. Huh. Made a mistake. That's alright. Supposed to do that through the other hole. We'll just forget that we did that. Now the secret to this is to keep that lace in between the two holes that you'll be doing. As long as you're keeping that lace in between the two holes so it can wrap around, you'll be fine. So always double check. When you go back the opposite way, it'll be a little easier because you won't have to worry about the lace as much. This is why you measure it out. Just make sure I got that. Yeah. Here's where it'll start getting a little more tricky, but because you have these two that you go through. So you go through that one, that, and this hole. And Once again, make sure the lace is there. This is where you might have to go through that side first, then come out this little one, just to ensure that you got that lace. It's the same way, that one, that, and that. Again, the same process. You just keep on doing this. Oh, see, we almost did a mistake there. String has to go underneath. You got to make sure that lace stays in between the holes in your lace, just like that. Make sure the lace is covered. And that one and that one. Be a little easier again. And you'll notice because of sizing that it's a little bit longer, but that's alright. You just cut off the excess. Keep on going back and forth. Some people need this longer amount, some people don't. What you can do with this little piece, if you cut it off and it's long enough, is pull these strings back out, re-punch them, so you can put a fringe on your toe. Whoops, I made an error there. Missed the hole. So you don't miss any holes. So we got 3 more here, yeah. this is the last one. It is. Whoops. That happens, don't get discouraged. That's why I use this bigger needle. It's less time consuming trying to thread it. There. Now this piece you'd cut off. I'll show you that really quick. And that is big enough to add there for fringe. So you can add that yourself. Some people like that look. Now, this is where it gets a little tricky. Because sometimes you're poking through the leather. Now you go back. Usually if you can try to find your string, it'll guide through pretty good. If not, you can always use your table. Just kind of push it through a bit. Okay, then you would have a nice straight stitch like that. You go all the way back around and you tie. Then this you'd cut your fringe in. And anybody that's seen fringing before or seen me do fringing, you just cut up. So I hope you find this video helpful. Do that, of course, with both of them. You'll end up with a finished moccasin like this. They'll last you for years and years and years. If they're a little snug, just get them wet. Just wet them. Put on a thicker pair of socks. Don't wet them till they're drenched. Just wet them so they're wet. You'll know that they're wet enough when they slightly change color. And then you just put them on and wear them until they dry. And then it will stretch out and form to your feet. So I hope you find this very helpful, and talk to you later.